this cool. This is where I live. Can't see too good, but, well, I can see good, but you know how cameras are. Those prayer flags down there at my boat. Up here in the parking lot, arranging the cars. We've been moving stuff around. That van next to me is ours, mine, and it's just full of crap that I'm minimizing and putting into the school bus to store, or arranging this car so that there's our necessities in here, the dog stuff and our camping gear and, you know, like survival type shit in case the shit hits the fan, which it probably won't, but it's just my little hobby. I like to be prepared. I guess I kind of, I guess I secretively hope it all comes fucking to an end here pretty soon, but I guess it's secretive, and I don't mean it comes to an end, but I don't know, you know, fucking a little bit of apocalypse might be a good thing for this planet, as long as it doesn't affect me and my loved ones. Yeah, I know how that sounds, but hey, that's just fantasy. I mean, yeah, I do kind of fantasize about if the electrical grid went down. I mean, what would I do? Where would I go? How would I react to that? How would I protect my loved ones? And, yeah, it's kind of fun to imagine the electrical grid going down and watching humanity have to become human again. Anyway, I'm just kind of a little bit morose today. Me and the girlfriend are having some troubles. I hadn't been in a relationship for about 10 years, maybe longer, when I started dating this lady. We're now living together. I love her a lot. She's a great woman. But we are so very different. And I'm just not good at this whole relationship thing. I spent so long alone. I'm rambling here about my relationship, and I am absolutely hoping I get any advice or comments from the world out there. At this point, nothing could really hurt. I mean, yeah, no, the relationship isn't close to ending or anything, but I'm just so at a loss as to how to behave properly and to not play games and to remain compassionate and to remain open-minded to my own faults and flaws and to love her for who she is and not to try to change her for who I want her to be. Right? All those things are that's the advice that people get in relationships. That's how to behave. But fuck, it's freaking hard to figure out. Like I said, I hadn't been in a relationship for 10 years, maybe even longer than that. Spent some time raising my daughter. Spent a lot of time just with, I guess, low self-esteem, and I think it was necessary. I think it was what the universe had in store for me to be alone that long, to put a little bit of that ego that I used to have in abundance. Boy, was I ego-filled when I was younger. Maybe still am more than I want to see. I don't know. But yeah, I got to the point where I didn't feel, there was an occasion here or there where I'd get lonely, but that was rare, and it wasn't devastatingly painful. It was just kind of a twinge occasionally. But for the most part, I became kind of reclusive, a hermit. I have friends and acquaintances, but I don't go see people all the time. I don't go party anymore. I haven't partied since I was a young man in the Navy. Had a great time partying as a young man in the Navy. Kind of got my fill of it. I see the world through different glasses now. I wish I'd have traveled differently. No, I don't. I say I wish I would have traveled differently No, I loved how I traveled the Navy. It was a wonderful time in my life. I'll tell you some stories sometimes. The Philippines, Thailand, oh my goodness. I wish I would have traveled differently, but I'd like to have the opportunity to travel differently now. I'd like to really absorb the cultures. I'd really like to go into places that I could use. I'd love to go use my skills for helping those in need. Anybody who needs an electrician in some third world country, I'm there if I could finance it. But anyway, so I diverting off the subject. I grew accustomed to living alone and even liked it. So I met this woman on the internet. We've had an internet relationship for 4 or 5 years. We dated once or twice early years ago, and then I wasn't ready yet. She went on and got in a relationship with some other guy for a couple of years. When they broke it off, I felt maybe I was ready and began a relationship with her. We're into it over a year and a half now. And, oh man, just sometimes I don't know if I can do it. I want her to be too different. There's things about who she is that, I don't know. Is it me being demanding, or I don't know. I mean, like her thing with dogs. She shows dogs. I think I've mentioned this in a couple other videos. And the whole way that I perceive that world and the way that she perceives that world are so different. And yet, the problems we're having in a relationship, I don't know if it's that or not. I don't think it's that. Well, it is, but it's more about how we interact. It's about, I would say that she's, well, before I tell you how I would say that she is, because I don't want it to seem like she would say about me, I think, that I'm uptight and that I don't go with the flow, which are ways I used to think I would describe myself. But that was until there was another life form living in close proximity to me, and I found out, oh my God, I'm not. There's definitely things I want to be certain ways. I'm much more organized and very much a minimalist. And again, I'm ranting about things that I've already mentioned in earlier videos. But it's about how we interact on those things. I still want to talk to her and change those aspects about her. She takes them as attacks. I tell her it's about self-awareness and not taking anything personally. I'm always like trying to teach and trying to help her be something that I want her to be, not that she wants to be herself. She tells me she wants things different in her life, but I just don't know when to shut up, and I don't know that I can. I mean, I can shut up if the issues didn't bother me, but if these issues bother me, like I said, it's hard to do without you seeing what I'm talking about. But the way we interact with each other, the way we talk to each other, we don't raise our voices, we don't yell, but I don't think either one of us hears the other one. I want to say that I do, but I'm sure she wants to say that she does too, and I'm sure she sees it that I'm not hearing her. And so there must be validity to both sides. But we're kind of like stymied. We're not getting past these things. And I do tend to lay blame. I do tend to say it's her baggage that's making her behave in these ways. but to her that feels like an attack, and it feels to her like I'm better than her, or telling her that she's not good enough for something like that. And I don't know how to not talk and exist in the relationship happily with the issues at hand. If the issues were not at hand, we wouldn't have anything to argue or discuss, and I could exist in the relationship happily. But with the issues that are at hand, for me not to discuss and not to talk, I can't be happy in a relationship. I don't know. It's all very complicated. I don't know if I don't want to just throw it away. Like I said, she's a wonderful woman. She's very caring and compassionate, and she seems to want some of the same things that I want. I really don't see the commitment, though. I don't see the interest as being something that she has on her own. It appears that she's interested for my sake, not for her own sake. And that might work if I'm talking about interests such as the type of movie we go watch, or what we have, or what restaurant we go eat at. Yeah, then sometimes I have an interest for her sake. Sometimes she has an interest for my sake. Those are fleeting moments in our life, and that's just kind to be able to do that for one another. But the interests that she seems to have for my sake are about how I want to live, and those are much bigger. And you got to be interested in these for your own sake, which I really don't see. When she sees it, she'll probably be hurt or upset that I said that, but it is how I feel.